showtime. In my thoughts, this is not how we were taught to fall in love. Oh, in love, in love. Come outside with me, let's get some privacy, who's in control. Oh, I'm losing, feeling kind of reckless, and I don't wanna mess this up. Won't mess it up. I just want your body, I just want your mind expressed to me. I wanna make you happy. I just want your body, I just want your mind explained to me. Hold me, and oh, baby, I've been thinking about you nearly every night this week. And oh, if you like that, I can be a freak for you, for you.
Hey. Una nena como tú, así quería yo, que comiera bien, huevo, todo recomendó. Se va a poner contento cuando le enseñé la foto. Me dice, milito loco, pero eres un modo. Y que tú te vas a casa, se ve que arriba en arraso. Quiero llevarte a casa, si de lo guay de la paz. Y parando toda la noche, pero ten cuidado si me tranca. Tu vida no fue moneta vuelta, creo que has vuelto loca, chica, venga, que me...
Hello, and welcome everybody. It's so lovely to be back on this gorgeous sunny Tuesday. We're in Cheltenham and the sun is out and shining. And thank you for joining us on this lunchtime on LinkedIn. And I am extremely pleased to introduce to you today Wren, who is here with me.
Hello.
These sessions, first of all, I better tell you who I am. Fanny Snaith, certified money coach. And I love to help people who find managing their finances awkward or difficult to just do it in a very easy, simple way and to make it as fun as possible. So here we are today, and the aim of these sessions is to basically blow the doors open on conversation about money. I think that we say in this country that we would rather talk about sex, put your hands over your ears, sex or death, rather than talking about our money. But I would like to challenge that and say that actually, if we are provided with a kind space that is open so that people can say what they want to say and non-judgmental, then actually people do like talking about their money. And so these conversations are to prove that and actually hopefully make it easier for you to start a conversation about money, either with us or with a friend or a partner. Because I firmly believe that if we can normalize money a bit more in this country and in the world, we can get on with it better. And if we get on with it better, we will generally reach the level of financial success that we want to, and certainly not be in the kind of debt crisis that many of us are in. We're still paying £123 a day, £123 million a day in credit card and personal loan interest. I mean, they talk about the COVID costing, I think it was £130 million a day for all the payouts, etc. We're virtually matching that in interest payments. So let's try and get some kind of balance on that. Anyway, I've been talking to various people over the past few weeks. We've recently had a series of talks with Will Rainey and Dennis Harhalakis about how we talk to our children about money. So I thought, what better can I do to follow that up is actually bring my daughter on with us, because Wren is my daughter.
I am.
Yeah, she's my youngest daughter. She's 16 years old. And you're a student at the moment, aren't you, Wren?
I am.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are in life at the moment, and what's going on with you.
So I'm Wren. I'm 16.
Yeah.
I'm currently a college student studying law, criminology, and music performance.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a bit of a weird time for everybody, but especially as a student, like it was my first day back at college for the first time in 2 months. Yesterday, which was very strange. But yeah, that's about it, really. That's what's going on.
Okay, so we are going to talk about money, but you know, let's just ease into it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, the track that we play in with to these live sessions, I don't know whether you heard or not, is actually Wren and her music, because you're a budding singer-songwriter, aren't you? So let's think about that for a minute. So you got into music. How old were you when you got into music?
Oh my gosh, how old was I when I did the High School Musical in the kitchen and that little pink microphone?
Probably about
5,
if that.
Yeah,
3,
yeah,
something like that. I reckon.
Very little. And then I think I started taking it a bit more seriously, like a couple of years ago. Like I started doing more of the production side of things, writing my own things, sort of in year 7, year 8.
Yeah.
Normally.
Yeah.
Well, I started writing my own songs in year 7.
Yes. Did you think about it then as a career?
No, definitely just as a hobby. Well, I think I'd always been told that I was like a character, or that I had a good voice and that I was fun to sort of watch as a person. So when I started writing songs, it actually meant something to me. I didn't see it as a career, because it was a way to get stuff off my chest. But now that I've got 4 songs on platforms, which is very nice, I can see it a bit more as a side hustle. Let's just say.
Have you earned any money from music?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
Tell us.
So
you don't have to tell us the amount.
But like, I mean, it's not loads, but it's just something to show that something that you care about and something you put time and effort into, you get a bit of money back. It's not loads, but it's nice to have that reward, I think.
And so are you talking about royalty payments?
I believe so. Like Spotify streams and iTunes buys and stuff like that.
Yeah, which is quite exciting, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
So we've got Tracy Carter who's just posted a comment. Hello, Tracy. She's been on with us on Lunchtime on LinkedIn Sessions, and she said she loves your music that we play in with. So thank you for that. So let's think about this. So you're at college. Yeah. You've got an interesting mix of subjects.
I do.
Music performance, criminology, and law.
Yep.
Okay. You've already had some success with your music.
Yes.
And what some people might not know is that in 2019 you were on The Voice Kids.
I was.
And you also were got into a London music school.
I did.
Which is Elam.
Yep.
We tried for Brit School, but we got into Elam as well. And we chose not to go, didn't we?
We did.
Well, you chose not to go. Tell me why you made that decision. What made you think that?
I think it was because during that time, obviously, COVID was coming more into play. So I think I got in March. I think I got the results that I got in March.
We did the audition online, didn't we?
We did.
So we knew COVID was here.
Yeah, so COVID was around, and then obviously if I was starting in September, we obviously the climate was, nobody really knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And there was the first case confirmed in England, I believe. And then also at that time, I've always been interested in true crime, and I'm a very opinionated person, and I have my opinions on those sorts of things.
Where you get that from?
I don't know. And I was really interested in true crime, and I knew that this college was offering something that I'm interested in, which was criminology, law, psychology. That sort of thing is very interesting to me. So I think I was trying to balance the reality and my hobby. Right. And especially with COVID on top of that, I was like, do we really want to move to London and go and live in a flat if we are going to be in lockdown? Not really.
But I think I remember you making a decision back then as well that you didn't actually just want to do music.
Oh no. Well, I think with music it's like a dream, but law is more realistic in that way. I think that's how I always thought of it. So with law, you can go to uni, and you feel like if you have a law degree, this is still my mindset.
Okay.
If you have a law degree, then you can sort of do any job you want, which is obviously a financial good.
Okay, so when we start talking about uni, then we start, especially with law.
Yeah.
We're talking about time, and we're talking about money, and we're talking about value. So how do you view that? How long are you going to have to study for to become, if you were to become a lawyer, let's say?
Well, it depends. There's different types of lawyer,
right.
Like solicitors and barristers and stuff.
Okay.
It depends. Like if I go to uni and I really enjoy doing law and I really enjoy the course, then I'll think more deeper into it.
Okay, so as a student, what do you know now about how the finances work with going to university?
I don't know enough. I think that's the
All
answer.
Right. What do you know?
What do I know?
Go on, just a stab in the dark.
It costs a lot to go to uni.
What does that mean?
It means that there's a lot of debt on the table.
Do you got any idea? Can I pin you down on a lot? Do you ever got any idea?
A lot of money.
Yeah. Do you know what? Well,
it's about £9,000 for a maintenance loan, I think, and then that's a lot of money.
Okay.
And then obviously the education, and depending on the amount of years you want to put in education, that is just a lot of money for a student and a young person to deal with.
Okay, so the chances are that what they're saying is you're going to come out of uni at with about 50 grand's worth of debt. However, we talked a little bit about this before, about the cost versus the price.
Yeah.
Because they lend you a certain amount of money to go to uni, and you come out with a certain amount of debt. But do you have any understanding about how you have to pay that money back?
Yeah, they take 9% out of your income if you earn over 26,000 a year.
Right. So, and is it yes? So, on that basis, then, how does that feel about any kind of? How does that make you feel financially? No, let's say you get a job that's earning you, I don't know, £27,000 a year, 27.5, because I think it's 26.5. So for every 1,000 that you earn over 26,500, you pay 9%. So that's 90 quid. So this is the thing, I think, isn't it, that a lot of students get a bit frightened with it because they see I'm borrowing something at, say, 6%, and they're adding 6% interest on it. But actually, when you're paying out back 9% of every 1,000 over 26, that's complicated to understand, right?
Yeah.
Do you understand it? Do you find that quite complicated?
Yeah, of course. But I think there's a lack of education that is given out to people about that. Like, obviously, I'm lucky to have you as a parent, which is that you're very informative about these subjects.
Okay.
But it's not easy for anybody to understand, and I definitely wouldn't understand it.
Okay.
If I didn't have you.
Because it is the cost versus the price, isn't it? Because okay. So that's that. So thinking about you and financial education, what kind of financial education did you receive at school?
Not enough. Again, very little. I think the only, as like PSHE sessions go, where they have like the extra learning about life.
Yeah.
None of it was to do with money whatsoever.
Okay.
So I think the only things that I can actually relate to real life money, let's say, is a foundation GCSE maths paper. And that's about all I can think of, if I'm completely honest.
And what financial education, i.e. money, financial education, did you find in a GCSE foundation maths paper? Just
value for money. Those were the main questions, where it was like, how many tins of paint do you need to paint this garage floor? And how does that relate to life? I don't really know. Well, it does. Well, it does relate to life, but not to a certain important level of paying your taxes, what debt is, how to deal with debt. None of that gets taught in schools, which I think is quite dangerous.
Or how to manage your money.
Yeah, or how to manage your money, or which bank accounts to use, and which credit cards to get. It's not.
Sounds a bit crazy, really, doesn't it? Yeah. Because it actually isn't that difficult, is it?
Well, no.
When I remember, right, so this book, for everybody who's seen Your Money Matters, thank you for the like, by the way. Anybody wants to write any comments, please just write a comment, and we can see them popping up, so feel free to ask Wren questions if you want to, or me. But this book, this is actually from the Young Enterprise, and I was very heavily involved in the Young Enterprise at school, as you know. And 100 copies was sent of this book, which was written by Martin Lewis, to every single secondary school in the country. And I'm interested to know, it's called Young Money, Your Money Matters. It's a brilliant book, actually. It's got colours in and everything, and I always like it when it's got colours in. I'm interested to know if any of you parents or students have ever seen it, because I'm not sure what happened to it at your school. Did you ever see one of those? No, you didn't see it.
Maybe you did if you took business, but I didn't take business, so I was. It was very easy to avoid any sort of financial education at school whatsoever.
Yeah.
Not that I wanted to avoid it, but nothing was taught to me.
Okay. All right. So let's think about money in itself then. how do you think about your relationship with money?
I think now it's a lot stronger. I think a couple of years ago when I didn't have a job, it was very much like, what I do is I go into a shop and I pick up a load of things I liked.
Yeah.
And then I put them all back and go, oh, I don't need this.
Okay.
That's what I do. I'd walk around a whole shop, pick up all these, mascaras and lipsticks and all this, and then just go, oh, I don't need this. I've got one at home.
Okay.
But now,
yeah,
because I've got a job, bear in mind I'm on furlough, but so I have to be a lot more careful with my money.
Yeah.
Now I have a lot more freedom, which is really nice.
Okay.
I don't feel restrained on my money.
So you earn your own money.
I do.
Getting some strange messages from people. You earn your own money because you work in a cafe.
I do.
Which is great. And what do you do with your money when you get it?
So because I've got Starling, which is a really good.
Tell people what Starling is, because a lot of people haven't even heard of it.
Starling is a bank.
Yeah.
That you're able to have all these different little pots to put all your money in. And it makes saving a lot easier. And it's just a nice layout. It doesn't look too jumbled and like old fashioned. It looks really modern and it's really easy to use. So as soon as I get paid at the end of the month, I put my money into my little pots, which I have a section like charity, clothes, a uni, I think is one of my pots, which is obviously a bit far-fetched. Cars, because obviously I'm 17.
Let's even buy your Porsche. Yeah.
My car, because I'm 17 this year.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, those sorts of things. And it's just easy to like split up money. And then I usually put like about £10 into each pot. There's not loads. It's like a little bit.
And there's another pot that I would like you to mention, because we have actually been putting money into it, which is called the
Financial Freedom
Financial Freedom account.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, look, here we go. We've got Jane's here. That's great. Hello, Jane. Lovely to see you. So you've got your Financial Freedom account. Yep. What is your Financial Freedom account? Do you remember what that is?
Just to save for rainy days, to be free with money.
Yeah. So I think the thing that I have to say to you, have to say to everybody, is I've only been a money coach for 5 years, and you were already 11 by the time I decided to be a money coach. Can you believe it was that long ago? But we all know, and I think we've had a discussion, that the beliefs and the feelings that you have around money are going to be instilled in you. Your financial blueprint is going to be set by the time you're about 7 years old. Mm. So what do you remember? What did I teach you about money? Because this is my caveat, right? I was not a money coach there then. What did I teach you about money when you were little?
I think it was very much needs, not wants.
Right.
That was a main thing.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it was also like a reward as well.
Okay.
So like if I got a good report card, you like buy me a nice little present. I remember you bought me that sticky notepad thing for my notes.
Did I?
Yeah.
Did I bribe you to get a good report, or was it really genuine?
No, it was genuine. There was no bribe. There's no bribe.
Okay.
But it was definitely like, if I'd walk into a shop and there'd just be some silly toy, which I'd probably remember for about 4 seconds, and it'd just go in the loft. Like, it was like a no to those, and I completely agree with now because of my whole environmental opinion.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah. And I would just say very much needs, not wants. And like, we had like a lot of like secondhand clothes, like Connie would have it, then I would get it.
Well, I used to love rummaging through jumble sales. God, yes. Who remembers jumble sales? We don't have that anymore, do they? The school jumble sale.
I missed them.
Was really good.
I think I learned a lot of that. But like from Dad, he was a bit more of a pushover when it came to money. Like not like in a bad way.
No, okay. But I remember playing shops. Do you remember playing shops? Yes. How did we used to do that? Because I started my financial journey with playing shops. We used to live next to a junkyard when I lived on the Isle of Wight when I was little. And in this junkyard, oh my goodness, it was like just a haven of stuff. So what we used to do is we used to set out these really long tables. There was my sister and me and the people that lived in the junkyard. And we used to then get an old tin can, and we used to have white berries off a tree. They were probably completely poisonous, and the berries were our currency. Okay. And we used to buy and sell things.
Yeah. Well, we did that similar with when we did.
Yeah, I know.
I had all those teddies in my room on that massive big shelf, and we get them all downstairs. Then we get the Monopoly money out.
Yeah.
And then I would sit behind the cash thing, and
you used to have a till, didn't you?
Yeah. And then you come up to me and give me the money.
Yeah. And you'd sell me something, wouldn't you?
Yeah. That's definitely my first memory of money. 100%. And then obviously we go into the supermarkets when I was a bit older, and you do the value for money and all that sort of stuff, and go and pick out these things that you need to go and find in the shop.
I used to send you both off in the vegetable department to go and find a bag of carrots or something that had to be a certain price and all this kind of stuff. And then we had the loo paper thing.
Yeah, with how many sheets and in a packet. And
so that's similar to your value for money that you were learning at the school.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a couple of visitors. We've got John C. Panther, MS. Not quite sure what MS is. Financial literacy is built on learning through practice and discipline. You're so right there. And it helps to have proper modelling. It really does help to have proper modelling. The thing is, though, when we're young parents, if we haven't been taught financial education at school ourselves, how are we supposed to know? I mean, I was quite an old parent. I mean, I was nearly 40 when I had you. Yeah. So theoretically, I've learnt my lessons by then. Which is good. So
and I was your second child as well.
And you're my second child, so that was good. And we've got Debbie Williams here. Great to see a new generation of women taking care of money and caring about it. It means you care about yourself most importantly. That is so true. So now, Wren, you're 16 years old. You're a proper militant student, which I love that about you.
Yeah.
You've changed your views and your opinions on the way you use your money and actually look at it. Tell us about that. Tell us what you care about as a 16-year-old.
I'm very big on climate change and protecting our planet. It's very, very important to me. And like fast fashion and what I eat. So I think it was it the beginning of this year or like late last year that I became a vegetarian. I became a vegetarian last summer.
Really?
August.
Okay.
Was the last time. And I've also educated myself on fast fashion and the fast fashion industry.
Yeah.
So now I only shop at charity shops and only shop secondhand, which I think is a change that a lot of us could make to our life. Because I think it's very important.
Yeah.
Or not even to just completely cut out and go completely cold turkey with new clothes, which is what I've done. I can't remember the last time I bought something new.
No.
But to make that bit of a change in our life, I think is very important, and that's how I choose to spend my money on those things.
So tell us about fast fashion. Tell me what you see and what you believe about that.
So my personal opinion on fast fashion is
what is fast fashion? Because some of us won't even know what it is.
So fast fashion is companies like Primark, Boohoo,
just name
Pretty Little Thing.
Name and shame. I am
naming and shaming. I am naming and shaming. And one thing that really aggravates me about these companies is when they post adverts like everything £5 and under. That's something that fuels my fire to help make a difference and educate people.
What is this fast fashion that you're worried about? Why should we be worried about it?
It's underpaid workers in terrible situations, producing clothes that are very really not good quality,
right?
And clothes that are being shipped over all around the world in single-use plastic bags, on lorries that are just traveling for unnecessary reasons, and selling you clothes that are terrible quality and that you're going to wear them once and then never wear them again, and either put them in the bin, and bear in mind they're made of terrible fabrics, that they're not biodegradable, they're not good for the planet, and most of them contain plastic. It's an environmental nightmare, but I think it's quite easy to make a difference and to make a change in just educating people about this topic and choosing to spend your money in a more wise way.
So if I go to Primani, right, and I buy a jacket, or a pair of leggings. I quite like their leggings.
Okay.
Sorry. and I keep it for 4 years.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
There's a difference there. I think you should choose to look at more sustainable sources before you go straight to Primark. Like for me, if I've got a party and I want to look really nice and I want a nice dress, for example, maybe I would go to a charity shop first to see if I could see anything, rather than going straight to Primark or straight to H&M or straight to Urban Outfitters.
Yeah.
I'd rather go. I think that's something that people need to do more. And it's been very difficult because of COVID.
Yeah.
And charity shops being closed.
Yeah.
Only things that are open are like Pretty Little Thing and Boohoo.
Yeah.
But I think in the future, when we are coming out of lockdown, I think it should be really important for people to just think a little bit more before they buy things.
And actually just think about our wants and our needs, really, isn't it? I mean, I know from my point of view, I've got to this point in my, you know me, that before I started this business, I just used to live in trackies, right?
Yeah.
I used my hoodies and everything. But I've now got to this point, and I know Jason Greystone's watching as well, and I know he does this, is that I now have a uniform. So my uniform is I've got a number of coloured jumpers and a number of scarves. Nobody sees me below the waist anymore.
So it's still fashionable.
Exactly. So I literally just wake up in the morning and I select a coloured jumper and a scarf and I go baboom. That's it. And I like that. It's nice to not have to spend so much time thinking about it. And you, I have to say, have been a fantastic influence on me. So for instance, I washed my hair this morning with a shampoo bar.
Yes, I like that a lot. There's so many now in 2021. There are so many things we can do to just change the way we shop just a little bit more. And you never know, it may actually be better for you financially. Like shopping at charity shops, you can find absolute bargains, and quality. I mean, this shirt I'm wearing, it's a really nice shirt. It was £7 from a charity shop, and it's Calvin Klein. So you know, there's so many things that we can do just to make a change, and it can benefit you financially. So putting those two together.
So is there any point in buying expensive quality stuff?
I think it depends.
For somebody who's just received the top of the range MacBook Pro, by the way.
Well, this is where there's the overlap. There are certain brands which are great quality and they make their clothes with really good products. Like Ralph Lauren is an example of that. They're full cotton shirts which are extremely expensive, but they are good quality.
Okay. And
they don't have plastic in them or anything. And it is most likely, if you do have a shirt like that, you'll keep it for longer.
Yeah.
But if you buy something like, for you example, you buy a coat firsthand and you keep it for about 15 to 20 years. Well, you've made your money. You've got your money's worth then.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's one thing me and Dad always pride ourselves on. Well, just for a little bit of backstory, right? So we inherit certain financial things from our parents, okay? And I know that to be an absolute fact, and I can tell you why. My dad, Wren's grandpa, left my mum when I was 1. And actually, I didn't really get to know him until I was 18. And the funny part of it was my mum gave him the nickname of Alan, what's it called? Perfectly Adequate Owen, right? Because the thing was, she used to love spending money, but he wasn't. He came from sort of quite humble beginnings. And he'd be the sort of person that when you looked at the light pull cord, there'd be sort of a couple of knots in it, you know, where you just tie it. Oh, it's broken. Let's just tie it back up together. It's perfectly adequate. He'd have belts with sort of that were all over the place. Anyway, I know that I inherited quite a lot of that from my dad, and I will hang on to things because I've had it. Like, for instance, I've got a rice steamer that we use pretty much, 3-4 times a week. I've had it since 1986. It's perfectly adequate, right?
Fine.
It works fine. But I feel some shame towards that sometimes.
Why?
Well, I just feel sometimes that, you know, oh my God, we should have new, we should have this, we should have that.
But no. Is old is so much nicer.
Old is nicer,
it's so much prettier, and got more story behind it.
Yeah,
like for example, Granddad's chest I have in my room.
Yeah.
It's
an Urkel chest. Yeah. Tracy says, my daughter will only buy sustainable environmental products. That's great. It's so good that young people want to take care of the planet.
Well, we're the one walking onto it. We're the one that has to deal with its future. So
and actually when you talk about that, this is another thing that you've done for me, which is really good. So my mum, when it came to Christmas, it was all about, she always said to me, children don't necessarily want a lot of things. I mean, for instance, your favorite toy when you were little with my mum was putting a ping pong ball into an empty tissue box. I mean, hours upon hours you would spend doing that. Put the ball in the box, take the ball out of the box, put the ball in the box, take the ball out of the box. So that was good. So, but Christmas time, what my mum would do, she would want to give us loads of Christmas presents. So she'd buy loads of little cheap things and put them in a stocking so that we have lots of things to open. And this year, well, 2020 was the first Christmas that you haven't had stockings.
Yeah.
I have to say that felt quite strange for me. But you said to me, Mum, let's look after the planet and not buy.
Yeah, and also wrapping paper, I just can't stand.
No, wrapping paper you don't like. And now Jason was always really good with, I don't know if he's still here, but it was quite interesting. Yeah, hence the Christmas tree. Joan Mallett's brought up the Christmas tree. Just for people who don't know, we bought a Christmas tree in 1997, Neil and I, from Kilburn High Road for about 25 quid. Oh my God, it's beautiful. You pull all the branches down and it's got fibre optics in it. And you know the modern ones, they've got this sort of this sort of violet flashiness. Ours has a piece of glass in the bottom. It's called a gobo that has a light underneath it, and it turns around and around. And as it turns around now, it groans, doesn't it?
It does.
Like
that. The fridge.
But it sounds so beautiful, and we've had it for all this time, and it's nice to have that. However, I forgot what I was going to say now. Well, like for instance, you don't use face wipes anymore, do you?
No, I don't.
And you've stopped me from using face wipes,
yes.
So I use this. Okay.
Yes.
So let's go back to. So we know that you're caring about the planet. What do you think about, what do you know about how this government is running and working financially at the moment? Because I mentioned at the beginning that it's costing us about £130 million a day for the furlough scheme and all that kind of stuff. Have you got any opinion on those things?
I've got quite a few political opinions.
Have you?
Well, I think
chuck 'em at
my
us.
generation, well, I know the people that I surround myself with, I think my generation's opinion is very communist. To say that. And
is that a generalisation? Are you certain you can speak
the
for the whole of your generalisation?
No, the people that I surround myself with, my friends. Okay. I personally don't believe in that opinion, and I think the government at the moment is quite difficult to keep up with, especially focusing on, again, the lack of education we actually have on our current government in schools.
Yes.
Unless you don't take politics or anything, which I don't take politics. I wish I did, but there's a lack of education still at school regarding the government. And it's actually interesting at the moment in law we are studying parliamentary law,
British Constitution,
or
parliamentary law.
And I think that the government is difficult to just give one opinion because there's lots of different sectors of it and how they've dealt with COVID, and it's quite a controversial topic to talk about how they've dealt with COVID.
What's your opinion?
What's my opinion? I think there could have been a lot of things done differently, but it is a very difficult time. But it's difficult to compare our country to another country.
What would you have done differently?
What would I have done differently?
Let's put you in Boris's shoes, Boris's trousers. You'd look very good in them.
Oh, thank you.
It would be second hand.
I think lockdown should have been done a lot earlier. That's my opinion.
Right.
I think that Christmas should have been during lockdown.
Okay.
I don't understand why they took us out of lockdown over Christmas. And I think that there's lots of issues regarding. I don't know. It's a bit difficult. It's a very difficult role to fill, and it's not a role I wish to fill.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about for a minute. What's your first memory of money?
My first memory of money.
Cool, because I have this list of questions that I ask my guests, and I just every so often I just throw one into the mix.
My first memory of money is definitely us doing the shop thing
with the
front
Monopoly
living
money.
room. Yes.
Right. Okay. And I was going to ask you, so do you have any other, now, are you thinking about your financial future and how you would like that to look?
Yes.
What do you see
for
you?
My financial future, obviously, because uni is getting close to the horizon.
Yeah.
And I'm playing it very safe with my uni course so that I am able to get a good job and be financially stable. But I also am planning on like looking for other ways of my finances, like not just relying on a job, like investments and stocks and stuff, which you will teach me about, which we have taught me about.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of an education as to what the stock market's about.
Yeah.
When do you buy stocks and when do you sell stocks?
Buy low, sell high.
That's my girl. And what do you know what a candle is, apart from the things that you light at Christmas and at birthdays?
The things on the stock market that go like up and down and they get taller and shorter.
And how do they do that? Why do they do that?
Oh, you're testing me now. I'm not too sure. Okay, I just know that I walk into the office and you go, look at this graph. I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay. Giles Watkins is here. Oh, that's good. Having to sign off now. Really enjoyed this chat. I'm hearing the attraction of second-hand clothes for people in their teens and 20s more and more. Good for them. A quick shout out for clothes sourced from Sri Lanka too. A very well-run, humane and properly run garment industry. Don't know anything about that, do you? Let's look into that, shall you? Maybe you could tell us how we can look into it, Giles. I worked there for 4 years as a supplier to that sector, and I'd urge you to look at the label and buy Sri Lankan where possible. Really interesting. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So, so when you're looking at your financial future, I remember when you came out of The Voice and you started writing, having your own records and things like that.
Yep.
We bought you a microphone and an amp and all that kind of stuff for you to go and do busking.
Yes.
It's been quite tricky over that time, and you got part of the equipment as a birthday present, but there were other part like the amp, I think it was, and something else. I said, I'll buy it for you, but you need to pay me back. How do you feel about that? Do you think that's something that's fair, or do you think I should have just given it to you?
It's realistic. Life doesn't, you can't just expect to have things from life all the time and just not and then just not pay anything back for them. Like credit cards, you have to pay it back at the end of the month and you can't go over what you can't afford. And I think there's a balance. If you have to buy, if you like in your childhood, which I don't even know when would you say your childhood stops, when you're 18 or you're 16?
Well, I would legally, I guess, when you're allowed to have a credit card is when you're 18 years old. But that you can be an adult, but it doesn't make you grown up, does it? I meet lots of people who are adults, but they haven't grown up as far as their money is concerned.
I think there needs to be a healthy balance between what's bought for you and what you buy, or what you pay back gradually
as a child.
Because if you just get everything bought yourself, you have no education given to you about your future.
And I think you're right. And I don't actually remember did I ever give you pocket money?
No. I don't think that was really a done thing. It was sort of like, oh, you've done these sorts of things, I'll put £10 in your bank account.
When did you first get a job? When were you first working? 4 years old, we sent her to the workhouse.
No, year 10. So I was like,
you were delivering the magazines first, weren't you?
So
about 14.
Yeah.
13. 14.
Yeah, which is year 10. 14.
Is it?
Yeah. I know.
So what before that, didn't we come to this agreement that I would give you a certain amount of money every month, but that meant that I wasn't going to ask, you couldn't come and ask me for, can I have money for the pictures, can I have money for this? You had to look after it. Do you remember that?
I just go to Dad for that one.
Honestly, this is it, you see. You come out, set out with all good intentions, and then my partner goes and sabotages you. Well, we do our best, don't we? We do our best.
And well, now what I like about where I am financially is I don't actually have to ask you, oh, can I have 20 quid to go out for a meal with my friends? Which is really nice.
That's good. So what's your number one financial priority right now?
Right now is just to have that freedom, and again, like just what I have achieved, to be able to go somewhere and buy my friend a drink if they want a drink, or buy my friend that sandwich if they want it, or if they need it, if my friend hasn't had the financial education that I've had, or hasn't got the money because they're in a different situation than I am. That's what I strive to have, because I like to be generous with my money, because I think that's really important, to be generous.
Why?
Because I think it's important to not. I think it can get toxic if you just constantly hold on to all your money and like protect it. Like you have to,
like a stagnant pond.
Yeah, you have to understand that you do need to pay for things and you do need to buy things, and it is important to be generous with your money if you can afford to give that money away. To which I can. If I'm at college and my friend goes, "Oh, I really fancy a lemonade," I'll go and buy it for them because I can afford to do so.
Do you also have in the back of your mind that because you're good at singing and all that kind of stuff, is it in the back of your mind that you can actually, wherever you are, you can pick up a microphone, sing and get paid for it?
Yeah, I think that's nice to have.
It's a bit of a coup, isn't it?
Yeah.
What a wonderful thing. Oh my God, I was going to say something so embarrassing there.
Don't use that.
No, well, not about you, it was about me.
Okay. Oh, sorry. You're far away.
I was going to, because I forgot that the camera's going. I was actually going to talk about what my way of earning money was when I was traveling, and I don't. Should we not talk about that? No, let's not talk about that. That could be
that could be really badly misinterpreted.
Yeah. Let's hang on a minute. Let's move on. Let's move on from that one. Right. Shh. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. So I'm not going to ask you that one. Have you ever lost any money?
No. No, I don't think. What, like stolen?
No, lost it. Not stolen. Not nicked it. Have you ever lost it? Like been out and just lost some money?
No.
Okay.
I'm very clever with my money.
All right. That's good. Okay. Have you ever made any money mistakes?
No.
You've never bought anything that you've regretted?
No.
God damn it, I wish I hadn't bought that.
No.
That's good.
Well, not in the last year, especially because I'm buying from charitable sources. Like with things that I intend to buy for certain things, I don't use them for that, and then I hang them on my ceiling, like that blue piece of material I have.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, okay.
So
that's
cool.
You
can make things out of things you buy, especially if it's going towards a good cause.
Yeah, okay. So what are your plans going forward then? Because money management is something that we talk about quite often.
Yeah.
Right. But when you see yourself building wealth, you're going to go to uni, you're going to learn that, and you want to start investing, etc.
Yeah.
When's the right time, do you think, is the time for you to start learning about investing? Now.
I think earlier the better. Just to get an idea of what to do. Because I know loads of people just aren't even given the opportunity to learn on what to do.
And then how do you see your friends when it comes to money? Are they good money managers? How does it work?
I think some of them are, like my close friend who has her own business, which I think is a great way of being entrepreneurial, and she's got her own jewelry business, which is great.
Yeah.
But I think with other people, and especially because of
got any in today?
No, I actually haven't.
No.
And I think at this young age, and especially because of COVID, it is very difficult for getting jobs and stuff. And I think people don't have and also some people just don't have the motivation at my age to get a job. And some of my friends genuinely just don't have the motivation.
And why haven't they got the motivation? Because why?
I think fear is a big thing about it. I know I was so scared walking into my first job at the cafe, thinking that I just wouldn't have been taken seriously. It was really scary. But I think, and especially at school, all we're taught about is how to write a CV, how to go and get a dead-end job, and how to all of this, where we're not taught about how to step out of your comfort zone and how to go and get a job, really. And I think fear is a big part of it.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so fear is a big part of it. Now, we've done obviously quite a lot of personal development work together. Yeah. And in fact, you came with me to the Dr. John D. Martini Breakthrough Weekend.
I did.
You did. So when we're talking about stepping outside our comfort zone, which you talk about quite easily, which some people haven't even heard of, right? What do you think about all the personal development work? Is it an important thing to carry on? How does that sit in your life and where it's at? I mean, do I shove it down your throat, or is it welcome?
I think it's important to keep checking in on yourself. It's important to keep checking in on how you feel about things and your self-worth, because you can't just flick a switch and go, oh, I'm positive, I'm really good now. So after the DeMartini thing,
yeah,
and what we focused on that weekend, the personal issues that were going on, a couple of weeks after, I came back and I was like, oh my God, I feel so great, I feel so fulfilled, I feel so happy, I feel so moved on.
Yeah,
it doesn't stay like that. You need to keep pushing yourself to become a better you all the time, because you're never going to be the best possible person you can be all the time, if you understand. And especially over COVID, it's been really important to keep checking in on your friends and on yourself, just to reflect on you.
I completely agree.
And once again, I think the education system doesn't fulfill that need.
How can they do better?
There's definitely some places, like the college I'm at the moment, really focus on mental health, which I think is incredible. Because,
do you want to give them a shout out?
Yes, Cirencester College. They're really good with mental health and mental health issues. But I think still and especially because of COVID, and especially because we haven't been in college, you haven't been given the chance to to achieve your personal development plan, which is what we have at college. We had to create a personal development plan, but it's been difficult to keep up on that, especially if your home life is not as supportive as, let's say, ours is, because other houses simply aren't like that. And it's very important to keep up with yourself and check in on yourself.
I think that's absolutely true. So you're going to be going back to work soon?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Are you?
April 12th.
April 12th.
At the Curious Cafe.
Which is the best cafe in the world.
It's amazing.
Isn't it?
It is lovely.
If anybody's in Cheltenham, the Curious Cafe on the Bath Road in Leckhampton is the best cafe in the world.
It's got a lovely garden.
It's got a lovely garden. If you want to see Wren there, she's usually working on a Saturday. Or is it Sunday? Saturday, yeah, you haven't changed it back again. Okay, and what about performing? So you've done quite a lot of performing online during COVID.
Yeah. Which has been weird. It's very strange.
It is strange because you essentially don't feel like you've got an audience there.
Yeah. I didn't like it as much as performing live. No. You can't bounce back off the audience.
Okay.
It's still nice though.
Okay. And as far as you're talking to us oldie adults, right, who have got bad habits and we just need to step up, don't we? What do you want us to do?
For adults.
Yeah. What do you want us to do?
I think it's difficult because adults, that's a very broad spectrum, and not everybody can be on their point because people specialize in different things. If you weren't a financial coach, I wouldn't be able to learn about money as much, which the education system should offer but doesn't.
Yeah.
And I know I keep bringing that up, but it is a topic that really frustrates me.
Yeah.
And that's a very difficult question because
you want us to wear secondhand clothes, right? Or buy wisely.
Yes, please.
Do we all have to become vegetarians?
No.
Okay.
Don't have to, but just make a difference.
We could stop by using face wipes.
Yes, please. They're terrible for the planet. Please.
Terrible for the planet. Okay. And so do you look forward to the future? Does the future look bright for you?
Yeah. I think so. I hope so. I think it does now, but this is the problem with the human brain. It's never a constant, is it? It just goes in and out of all these different waves of emotions all the time. But at the moment, right now, sat here this second, it looks bright for me. So that's nice.
Okay, cool. Right, I'm going to call it to a close now. If anybody's got any questions, pop them in now before we sign off. We've got Will Rainey has joined us, and he said he loved that, wanting you to learn and start investing. The earlier the better. He's teaching his children, and they're only about knee high to a grasshopper, about planting seeds that turn into forests.
Oh, cool.
And
literally or figuratively?
Figuratively.
Oh, okay.
So and all that kind of stuff, which is great. And Debbie Williams says facing the fear is so important. Excellent, Wren. Stepping out of a comfort zone. I mean, facing your fears you did that 100% when
Yeah.
you stood on that stage in front of Jessie J, Will.i.am, and all those kind of people, even if they did have their backs to you.
They didn't the second
time. No. So where can people listen to your music?
So I'm on Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, all of that.
And how do they find you there? What do they search for?
My name is just Wren Snaith.
Wren Snaith.
And my Instagram is in the comments. Did you put it in the comments?
Oh my goodness, we haven't had the banner playing. That's a bit rubbish. Look, it's supposed to be going like that.
No.
There you go.
Well,
there it is. So you're Wren.Snaith on Instagram.
Yeah.
That's cool. And if they want to catch you on when you're on The Voice, they just do The Voice Kids Wren, and you'll come up there and see that, which is fun. So all I want to do is I want to say thank you very much. Maybe we can carry on and do this again in the future to see if how you've changed your mind about things. I'd like to really say thank you to all the people that have come on and watched. We've had a great number of people watching today, which is fantastic. This will be in replay on all the platforms. So it's on the Fanny Snaith Certified Money Coach page. It's on the Loving Me, Loving My Money Facebook group. If you want to get a more personal, be in a more personal environment when it comes to loving yourself and loving your money, whether you're male or female, please do feel free to join the Loving Me, Loving My Money group. And also here on LinkedIn, if anybody would like to come on this session as a guest, then please feel free to shout out to me. And I've got Thursday coming up where we're going to be talking to Richard Cook, who is known as the retirement coach. He's a very wise man, and he's coming on then. And so from now, I would like to just say thank you again, Wren. I love you and I appreciate you for coming on today.
Thank you.
Thank you all very much. And we will see you again soon. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching.
No, we got not the Zoom wave. We mustn't do this.
No. Bye.
Bye.